And everyone,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
what
when
I mean.
Carragher was like, and Real Madrid won't win the Champions League. No, we won't win the Champions League.
Bro, they love to show
I love Carragher, mate, but he puts himself in it, doesn't he?
all the time, all the time. But that's the best thing about Carragher is he doesn't think before he speaks, and that's why he's so entertaining. Like short-term pain for a long-term pleasure, you have to take that beating, man. And do you know what I mean? It's one of them ones where the Liverpool game, when we beat you, like I knew we were gonna beat you. Like there's just something
I
about
saw you
Liverpool.
said it. Even though I haven't
Yeah,
been on the channel, I've still been
yeah.
watching you, lad.
I knew we were gonna beat you, bro. Like just before, when I was watching Liverpool from the start of the season, I was like, there's something wrong here. Like this looks flat. And this is what I expected Liverpool to do maybe 2 years ago. But to be fair to Klopp, he managed to get a tune out of these guys because remember, we've spoken and I've said this Liverpool core has been the same for ages. Like
But I've
you
been
bought
Rants.
you
I was
bought
trying to
Bobby
say that
Firmino
to
as a
you.
midfielder. He turned him into a false nine and squeezed some extra juice out of him because when you first bought Firmino, people weren't really sure what his best position was. People were like, oh, has he flopped? Then Klopp played him up front and then all of a sudden he was a revelation. Salah's been there. Diaz came in. I'm not a massive fan of his. I think he's very erratic. I think he's very like hit and miss. I think some days he's good, some days he's shit. Mane was a massive miss because Mane in the centre forward position for me was your best player
Brilliant.
last season.
He was
Yeah.
brilliant.
So losing him and bringing in Nunes, I knew that was a downgrade. I did say that you don't know how Virgil's gonna respond from that injury because one of my good mates had that injury, and that's one of the worst injuries to have in football. You never fully recover from an injury like that. So I knew that you weren't going to see the same Virg. Matip is an amazing centre back, but his injury record is crazy. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of little things. So I was just like, yo, Liverpool need to improve.
Nah, do you know what the thing is? We got lucky last season. So the first thing about someone like Joel Matip, he's one of the most underrated centre-backs in the Premier League, and it's because of that injury record. But any time that he plays, he is genuinely minimum 8 out of 10 for me, bar the odd day like any centre-back can. He's so good on the ball. The way he drives the ball forward, it automatically immensely improves our attack. I think in the last couple of games where we've been very reserved, you can do with a centre-back who's going to be like, do you know what? Fuck all of yous. I'm going forward to make something happen because all yous aren't doing it. So I might as well take it into my own hands. And it's a risk, but it's a risk that wins your football matches. And he's proven many, many times that he can create some good chances from bringing it out from the back. Van Dijk, the annoying thing with Virg, he had a really good season last year. Whether it was as good as his peak, regardless what you want to say, I still think he was the best centre-back in the league for me. What I'll say is what I've noticed is a mentality shift opposed to that physical change. He doesn't put himself in the situations to be physical. He doesn't want to get himself into the position where he needs to defend. We play the high line.
The injury,
that's systematic.
That's what the injury has done. It's a mental thing now.
Maybe you're 100% right. Maybe you are 100% right, but I'm not being funny. Going forward and blocking a ball in Jadon Sancho and making it more difficult for him. So when the one thing I appreciate from Milner, he still tried. Like he still tried to get the ball off Sancho. No one else was around him. He had all the time in the world. Virgil stood there like the Statue of Liberty instead of putting some sort of pressure. Now, as a professional footballer, you should probably not fear any other man. But when Virgil van Dijk is on the pitch, that's got to be a concern.
You got to put your body on the line.
If Virgil van Dijk is going to be standing 5 feet away from you to give you all the time in the world when all of our other players are on the rest of their feet and you are in line with Jadon Sancho and you're not going to put no pressure on him, that for me is a mentally wrong decision that he's made, 100%. And it's not to do physically. So from the injury standpoint, maybe it's affected the mentality. Physically, he could still body most players. He needs to use that more, that aggressive side.
But I just
think
that he doesn't want to get hurt, bro, because that's what injuries do. Like
blocking the ball isn't going to get you hurt, though. Swear being a pussy if that's the case. Blocking the ball isn't going to be breaking your leg.
Because the same thing happened at the other end, and Lissandro threw himself in front of Mo Salah. Threw himself in front of him, unblocked it.
And that's the aggressive side that you need to have.
Yeah, and that's the difference. But injuries do that to players. Like
he's not used to it though, as well. If you think about it, Rants, because our style, our system of defending is very systematic. It's very high line based. It worked so well last season. It's really a really good way of defending, but Van Dijk doesn't like to get into the situations no more where he has to do the last-ditch tackling. And he cost the goal against Mitrovic, he cost the goal against Zaha, and he cost the goal against Manchester United, arguably, with not going forward towards Sancho. I still think he would have scored. But give yourself the best possible chance, at least, Virg, and then you'll be sound. If he keeps performing the way he is, then I'm sorry, someone's going to need to sit there. It's why I was buzzing when Milner had to go with him. Sit there and say, sort your fucking shit out and start showing some fucking bollocks, mate. And I've never had the injury.
Milner was tearing into him, to be fair,
Rightly
after the goal.
fucking so. Rightly fucking so, because he was the only one who was trying to win the ball back. Say what you want about James Milner. I wouldn't want him in my starting 11 no more. But he's got the right fucking mindset for it, mate. And sometimes you need a leader, you need a manager, you need a mate to sometimes sit there and tell you, listen, set your fucking own standards and stick with them. Don't be sitting there and trying to back off players. It's failed for you now 4 times. If you include the Champions League final, fucking swerve it, mate. And I love Virg, and I think he can come back, but he needs that mentality shift.
No, 100%. And that's what I mean. And it's just throughout the whole dressing room. I feel like I feel like it's going stale, man. And something needs to be freshened up. Not the manager, but players. And that's the thing with keeping the same core. I don't like it. The thing that's exciting me about my team is that I'm seeing the core change of my team. I'm seeing Varane in there now, Lissandro in there. I'm seeing Casemiro in there. The core is changing. More aggressive players now. The manager's bringing in different players. Christian Eriksen, another player that's experienced. Like, we're seeing a different core, man. And I think that's needed. The core's been the same at Liverpool. And I think it's just going stale, man. And I don't know, what is your realistic expectations for Liverpool this season? I said that I didn't think that they would finish second this season. Before the season started, I thought that they would finish below Spurs. But maybe I think I might have given Spurs too much credit. And I think Spurs might even finish below Arsenal. I'll be honest, like, because Spurs don't look impressive to me. Like, they look very boring. Their football is probably only Chelsea play worse football than Tottenham at the moment. Like, the football's horrible, man. And I don't know about Spurs, man.
In terms of expectation, funny one. Going into the season, obviously going off last year, and not as much as the transfer window went by. You'd like to say that we were competing for all fronts again, but we've drastically lowered the amount of players that we've got in our squad depth. So whether you like them or you don't, Origi, Minamino, they're different concerns if you can bring them off the bench for sure. They can get a goal out or not, and you got rid of them and didn't replace them. Which is why now you're suffering, because there's no Jota or Núñez available as well. I think injuries have a part. I think we were hoping maybe to see more of Thiago and Keita this season. Doesn't really matter though, because you know they've got injury problems. So the fact that you never went out there and at least done something alternatively to where you know that's a possibility, let's bring him in just in case this happens, that just shows naivety to me. And that's why, honestly, going into the season, we're not going to be buying a midfielder unless they surprise me. I'm realistic, so I'd say top 4. But people will laugh at me and be like, oh, look what Liverpool fans have fallen to. Blame my owners. Blame my owners for not going out.
What are the rest of the Liverpool fans like, though? Because you've always been onto the owners, but do you get stick from other Liverpool fans?
Yeah, because we won a league title a couple of seasons ago and won a Champions League, and we've got Jurgen Klopp, and Jurgen Klopp's brilliant, but he's not God. Like, he's not God. He's like a father figure to me, and a lifetime contract as far as I'm concerned. It's years away before I'm even thinking about doubting him as a manager, but I don't understand how you can keep these same expectations and not show the same level of intentions when it comes to spending money. You know, it's like saying that you really want to be in a really committed relationship, but you only see your girl once every 2 weeks. It makes no goddamn sense. You're clearly just not ready to have a bird, lad. You know what I mean? Go home, do the shit that you need to do and crack on. Don't be saying one thing and then making your actions speak louder than words. And that has been clearly shown that we've had one good transfer window since Jurgen Klopp has came, and we haven't built on it since. We done what most American owners would do, and we stopped once we started getting that Champions League revenue. And you know what's mad? It's not bad to have a 30-year-old Fabinho. It's not bad to have a 30-year-old Van Dijk. Same with Salah. But you've got to complement them with good backups who are going to push them further. When Diaz came in, Mane started improving. Obviously, there was a position change, but he was brilliant. Jota, when he came in, he was really testing the front three. He was the one who pushed Firmino out the squad. You know, all these different things. You need to make 1 or 2 then stopgap signings each season instead of going with the same squad for 3 seasons and then having one good transfer window. Because do you know what's mad as well? We bring in Jude Bellingham this summer. Next summer we're going to need to replace, I don't know, like someone else, like Robertson or Virgil or whatever. Like, I'm not saying it defo will be that way, but you get the point I'm trying to make. It's too little and in too short of time. So until we start seeing more, or I start seeing more, then we're going to be competing for top 4, and Liverpool fans can say what they want. I love my fellow fans. I love the noise we can generate and all that. But guess what? Guess who's going to be disappointed? I'm doing it because I love them. I'm doing it because I fucking love yous, and yous won't listen to me because I'm just some fucking. I'm some young fella who's got a bowl head, and I talk about footy on YouTube. No one cares about what I've got to say. But that's why you've got to readjust your expectations. Otherwise, you're going to be sadly disappointed. The same way you've been disappointed every other season besides the one where we won the Champions League and the league. Because even though it's good to get 90 plus points, you're not getting the trophies. So do what's necessary to go one step further, for fuck's sake. Otherwise, yeah, top 4 is what we're going to have to go for. I could go on all day, mate. Sorry about
that. No, but you're right. But you're the first Liverpool fan that I've heard say, you know what, like we're playing for top 4, because a lot of them think that you're competing for the league. So, like, I'd
said that going into the season, but that was before I saw the case study of the transfer window and how it went. Now that I've saw it, and now that I know what's going to happen.
So do you still think there's any possibilities of you bringing in any players in the next 5 days that could change it from a top 4 challenge to a title challenge?
No.
Fair. That's it. Like,
not in the last couple of days, we won't.
I don't blame you. That's how it's looking, unfortunately. It's a bit mad.
But guess what, though? Guess what? Because I love my football team, I'll back them all the way till they hopefully do get top 4. And I'll support my players week in, week out, mate. But I'll be readjusting those expectations. Trust me. I'm not going to be saying like, oh, but the title race is over. Fuck the title race. Swear to God, fuck the title race until you start showing some signs that you're actually going to be able to compete for it.
No, 100%. There's no more than... There's no more really to add to that, but like, yeah, it's the FSG. You're blaming the owners, and rightly so. Do you know what I mean? And not really much blaming the manager. You just think that the manager's doing what he can do.
Yeah, of course, he's not the perfect manager. No man is the perfect manager. Everyone's going to have flaws, but in terms of what we could get better than Jurgen Klopp, we're not going to get better. And I love what he's been, and like you said, he's overachieved with what he's had over the years. So to just think that he's going to be able to keep making work with what he's got, it's just unrealistic thinking and unrealistic expectations. So until I start seeing some proper change in the transfer window, I'm not going to be sitting here being negative and being like, oh, but we should be competing for league titles. Shouldn't be getting fucking anything. Listen, as much as I like to think it's my club, it's fucking FSG's club. And if they're going to run it to be a top 4 team in Champions Leagues, I'm going to enjoy the big night where we get to play fucking Barcelona in the Champions League. That'll be my new excitement, instead of thinking, oh, do you know what? Maybe we could lift the trophy at the end of the season. From now on, if we win the odd trophy here and there, belter me, because that was better than what I had growing up.
No,
you know what 100%, I mean?
100%, bro. Couldn't put that any proper. Guys, obviously the Champions League draws out. Who have you guys got in your group?
We're going to Ajax, bro. I'm going to Amsterdam.
Are you going, yeah? Why not? Why not? Bro, book that shit immediately, bro. That stadium's amazing as well. It's an amazing stadium. You fly over it on the plane. Twice. Yeah, when you're on the plane flying to the airport, you fly over the stadium. I'm sure you would have seen it.
Yeah, 100%. It's beautiful. And I haven't been to the stadium, so I'd love to be able to sort a ticket for the game. Even if I can't, I'd love to be engulfed into the atmosphere in that night, because Ajax, just really nice fans, really nice people. And on top of that as well, it's a lovely place to be, so I don't mind a little holiday to Amsterdam. I've been waiting to play them in the Champions League. You know what Scousers are like as well? We're like, yeah, we'll take any trip to Amsterdam that we fucking can. And anyway, now that we finally fucking got it, we're all there like, yes, fucking it is right. And Rants, that's what I'm looking forward to, mate. It was the reason why I was saying Sadio Mane is the best footballer in the world after we qualified to the Champions League against fucking Hoffenheim. Because, lads, we were back in the Champions League, bro. It was sick being there. You want to hear the champion. You don't want to be hearing Europa League music like saying United fans. But what you want to be hearing is the big occasions, the big nights.
To be fair, we are going Cyprus, though, to play
Nice that. Nice that. You go to Cyprus,
I might go Cyprus. Fuck it. I might go. Like, I just said to the man them in the group chat, it's Cyprus. I ain't been there in years. I've been to Ammonia Stadium in Nicosia, bro. It's all right. It's one of them old kind of historical, kind of Greek looking fucking, you know what I mean? Almost looks like them gladiator kind of them arenas, man.
Warrior time shit, yeah.
Like Cyprus is nice, but their fans are nuts, bro. Their fans are nice. They invade pitches and that. So it's gonna be mental, but I think I might go Cyprus still, because that might be lit. So do you know what I mean? It's one of them ones, you know. It's better than going to fucking Azerbaijan or something. So
Yeah,
Do you know what I
that's
mean?
true.
Like,
That's true.
so no, that's all right. Who do we get? We got Sociedad, we got Nicosia, and I think we got Sharif as well.
Do you have
And
shit? They were the only team to beat Real Madrid in last year's
Real
Champions League
Madrid,
campaign. Well, I know that City beat them like in a leg and whatnot, but just in terms of like a game, it was Sharif who had a good go against them. Do you remember that? And everyone,
yeah,
that
that's
was
what
when
I mean.
Carragher, was like, Real Madrid won't win the Champions League. No, we won't win the Champions League.
Bro, they love to show
I love Carragher, mate, but he puts himself in it, doesn't he?
all the time, all the time. But that's the best thing about Carragher is he doesn't think before he speaks, and that's why he's so entertaining. Do you know? and that's just what it is. So now Sharif is in Moldova, like, and Moldova is actually an amazing like long weekend, guys. I'm telling you, man. Trust
Some nice
me.
easy games of footy to enjoy as well. Don't mind if
Yeah,
you do.
hopefully, but their pitch is horrible though. Their pitch is horrible. But from what I believe, that it might not even be grass. I think these guys play on like a shitty kind of artificial pitch, but we should beat them anyway. Do you know what I mean? But it's just
I hope you just get tethered by the bunch of bus drivers and the ice cream men that they'll have in their starting 11. I just hope
yeah,
that they go there and embarrass you, mate, because honestly, like, even though United got the better of us in the last game and honestly, they done everything they needed to do. I've saw arguments about possession. Fuck possession. If you're not going to do nothing with it, I don't care about possession. It frustrates me even more when you've got the opportunity to create something and you're not doing it. And United really did the most that they could in that game. It was a step in the right direction. I don't think you're going to go and win the next 5 games or anything like that, but that's not what you need to do. You need to just be better than what you was last year, and over time get rid of all these big signings that you've made and haven't worked out, and then improve that way. Before we do move on and probably talk about United more, the other teams that we've got in the group stage is Rangers. I love that tie. You know, Rangers, they'll be more than up for it. Belt a game of footy. Scottish people are similar to Scousers. They're rough as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, they're all from them similar type of areas. And then we've got Napoli, which I am having no part of. I'll go to the home game, but I'm not going to
the away game. They're nuts.
Fuck that. Fuck that. They'll see me. They'll hear me speak once, and they'll be like, Italiano, and then they'll come over and they'll fuck me up, lads. All fucking
they're nuts, bro. You don't want to go there. Well, their stadium's another one that's crazy as well. The Napoli stadium looks like a coliseum as well. Like, it looks unbelievable. Like, I want to visit it like on holiday, but I'm not going when there's a game on. Fuck that.
I like myself too much, lads. So, you know, I've got to make sure you know what it's like with YouTube. Got to keep the money maker intact. And if I go to Italy, that will most certainly not happen.